Found a way to win tonight. I don't think we played particularly well. We had some stretches where we did. I thought we had some good individual performances. Obviously, Jalen has gone back to back now with great nights. I thought that was great to see. I thought Jalen, who was in here too. The reason we didn't start him is I just kind of wanted him to maybe play without picking up 2 fouls before there was a chance to get him out, and he was able to play some more minutes tonight, and I thought he was really productive, and but for whatever reason I just didn't think we had a lot of juice tonight. We got a lot of new players. We're going through a lot of stuff. They also decided, it's just kind of early season stuff too, is this is a team that pressured the crap out of Stanford and their other opponents and stuff like that, and then they kind of decide to sort of sag in the paint, and they decided not to guard Ethan Morton. We hadn't felt that at all this year. We had to work through that, and I thought the guys did a decent job in the second half of starting to work through that. But I've got some gripes. I thought we've got to be a little bit mentally tougher. When we had some chances to kind of pull away, we made some head scratching decisions there, but that's part of learning and growing, and we will. But it's a lot better to do that with a win.
You mentioned Jalen Lake's night again. Last time you had back-to-back double-digit scoring nights, you have to go back to last year, Creighton and Colorado. Do you feel like this year you've seen him kind of elevate his game, or do you think that's just kind of him getting into the starting lineup?
I think it's probably, I don't know about that. I think it's a little bit of both. I think he was playing well last year before we got injured, but it's also just part of being a senior. He had a great off season. He got a lot stronger. He got more confident, and I think he's just playing like a senior who's been here for 4 years. That feels really comfortable in what we're doing and playing with a lot of confidence. And he knows I trust him. And yeah, I think he's kind of been our steadiest guy right now.
You touched on, but how important is it to keep Croc on the floor, especially given Rashawn's injury and everything, and having Crocker Johnson out there?
Yeah, we got to keep him on the floor, and we got to keep improving defensively and all that stuff. But yeah, he's a guy that, I hadn't seen it, but I guess we did see he can make threes. He's a good natural rebounder. He's got so much room for growth as a player. But yeah, he's got to be out there on the floor for us. So I don't know if we'll stay this way and start Kyle. I'm not sure, but again, it was important to have him out here, not just get in a rut so early where it's 2 fouls and you just can never get in the rhythm of the game. And I thought he was able to get in a little bit of a rhythm, and that really helped us.
Do you feel like some of the ups and downs, if you will, and you're relying on a lot of young, fairly inexperienced players out there at the moment? Is some of that they're kind of learning fast on the job?
1,000%. That's part of it. You got young guys who have to go through it and have to learn from experience, and then you mix that with a lot of new faces. You're still kind of trying to find your identity. You're kind of trying to work through some different things. And the one thing about all this, no matter how hard you practice and as much as you practice and as together as you feel, you haven't gone through anything yet together as a team, and you have to go through those things. You have to play together. You got to go through the ups and downs. You got to fight through some adversity, in the games, fight through injuries and those kinds of things, and that's how you improve and get better. And so I think there's opportunities for us to grow. I think there's opportunities for leadership to step up. I know young guys are going to get better. A guy like Kyan Evans, I remind people he's only a sophomore. He didn't play minutes like Zay as a freshman, and I promise you, if you go pop on the film of Isaiah Stevens 4 years ago, trust me, he was far from perfect. You know what I mean? And so that's part of it. You just got to go through it and grow, and he cares deeply, and those guys will respond. The other thing tonight, too, I thought, what did we shoot? 7 of 28 from 3. I thought just about all of them were wide open, I think. You know what I mean? Most of them, and just one of those nights we just didn't have a lot of pop, but we did make free throws, so that was good. We did make our free throws tonight.
And we were talking about that, James. In the first half, it wasn't really there, but in the second half, it seemed to be a change. Where do you think that was?
I thought at halftime, I told the guys, and you can't play well when you're frustrated, and we look frustrated. Heck, I probably did too. You know what I mean? And so I've got to be better that way. And even though there was a lot of frustrating things going on, I think if you play frustrated, it just starts to go this way. It just goes worse. And I thought, just talked about, you got to get a little bit of joy going. You got to get a little bit of juice going. And I thought Ethan kind of got over a little bit of, all right, they're not guarding me. I missed some shots. Some things didn't go my way. He kind of had this look his eyes. And I thought he really responded as a fifth-year senior and really brought some energy to the team. And he's a guy that can bring a lot of energy. And I thought he really did that. Knocked some balls loose, got out, scored a couple baskets. He had 8 rebounds for us tonight. So I thought he was a real catalyst that way.
How big is he? Because, some people might look and see, oh, he was 0 of 5 from the floor at one point. But he does everything else.
Absolutely. No, I mean, he's an elite defender. He's an elite defender. He's got a really high basketball IQ. It's just him finding his way, in our offense. And again, they decided to go with a game plan that was different, than what we thought. But he worked his way through it. But you're right, Justin. I mean, he's a guy that he's really important to the success of this team, and doesn't show up in scoring.
Does he bring an edge that maybe just comes with having played, big time
Yeah.
basketball?
When he's at his best, he does. You know what I mean? When he's at his best, he brings a certain edge and energy to our team that he's got to bring regardless of what's happening, on offense. But yes, he does. He's been through it before.
Top 25 matchups coming up this weekend. Just what do you want to see from your team?
Go compete. I mean, we try to always schedule these opportunities for our guys. It's going to be unique. I mean, it's a semi-neutral. I think it's 30 minutes from their campus or whatever. So, I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know if we'll have anybody there. But it's a great opportunity for us, right, to go down there and challenge ourselves against a team that I think looks like an NCAA tournament team, and it'd be a great test for us early in the year to challenge ourselves and see where we're at. And I think our group's going to respond here from this. And we need an off day. We'll be off tomorrow, and we'll practice. We'll get on a flight on Thursday. We'll go down there and be ready to play on Saturday.
Obviously, you don't have anybody on this roster who's going to replace Isaiah Stevens. But with that in mind, how would you assess your point guard play, the rotation point guards? I mean, Bowen was a plus 13.
Bowen played really well. I mean, Bowen's another guy, like as a fifth-year senior, and he's kind of maybe not a natural point guard. He's more of a scorer, but he brings a lot of toughness and energy to what we do, and he's been in all these kinds of games, right? He doesn't get rattled like up or down, and I think he's really a steadying, force for us. And I'm telling you, like, he's going to have a game here coming up where it's going to be 4 for 6 from 3. Do you know what I mean? He's proven it over his career. Like, he's done it, and he scored 1,700 points coming into this season. But he's a big part of what we do. He's such an unselfish kid that way. But yeah, he was huge for us tonight.
Part of the but then ignoring Ethan was then kind of doubling Niko and making sure he really didn't take. And only took 1 shot in the first half. I mean, how much of an adjustment is that going to be for him? That's obviously going to be more of something he's going to see throughout the year.
Well, I think it's an adjustment for him. That's an adjustment for us. I mean, that's an opportunity for us, I think, as coaches to get back to and kind of look at that. Again, our 3rd game of the year, we got a new team, and they decided to, you know what I mean, just kind of throw something really unique at us, and you kind of have to adjust on the fly. I think at halftime we did a decent job of coming out, and kind of getting into some better stuff. It's going to be a challenge for us and for him, but that's part of being at the top of the scouting report, right? I mean, like, you knew that coming into the year, and when you're at the top of the scouting report, they're going to throw everything at you. But he'll learn from it.
And kind of going off that, obviously Jalen has the big game again. You mentioned that earlier, but how nice is it to see his evolution as an offensive player, going from a guy who was younger playing, but mostly catch and shoot guy, now he's doing a lot of stuff off the dribble and just kind of taking control of the offense when he needs to.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, again, he's been here for 4 years. He knows this stuff inside and out. I mean, the one thing about Jalen, man, I mean, he's always going to follow the game plan and scouting report to a T. And now, again, he's developing his offense. I think he's always been a good shooter. He's just having confidence to see. Sometimes I think maybe in the past, if he hadn't scored in a while, he'd maybe rush an open one, right? And then you miss that, and then it kind of gets in your head. The game's just slowed down for him on offense, and he's playing with great, poise that way. And he's just such a steady guy, and you guys know I've always valued him so much, and I'm not surprised to see him playing the way he is.
After that exhibition game, you kind of mentioned that the rebounding would be a big focus for you guys. How have you felt like the guys have responded since then?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought we had been good going in. I thought we were good in the first game. North Dakota was going into the year the best rebounding team in their league, but hadn't been very good the last 2 games. So you're only as good as your last game, I guess. So we've definitely got to get better there.
How do you shift that going forward?
I think a lot of it's just a mindset. Again, tonight I think was a little bit different than the other night. I just thought we just didn't have a lot of juice tonight. We just didn't, and I don't know what the reason is, but we'll figure it out. But I think our guys will respond and have some juice on Saturday.
Thanks, Niko.
Thank you.